A Fox News alert, President Trump nixing additional action against Venezuela, posting, quote, the USA and Venezuela are working well together, especially as it pertains to rebuilding in a much bigger, better, and more modern form their oil and gas infrastructure. Today, President Trump and some of the largest U.S. oil companies will discuss how to build back Venezuela's oil industry.
They're going to go in. They're going to rebuild the whole oil infrastructure. They're going to spend at least $100 billion. And it's an unbelievable oil that they have and an unbelievable quality of oil and amount of oil.
When they nationalized the oil industry in Venezuela, going back to the 1920s, American companies had invested billions.
We built it. Yeah.
All of it.
And then it was taken away from us.
Stolen.
It was stolen from us. I just took it back.
All right, let's bring in Energy Secretary Chris Wright, who will be at that meeting. Mr. Secretary, thank you for taking time. What will come from this meeting, and what does it mean for the American people?
Look, for 25 years, we've seen the collapse of the Venezuelan regime. Everything going the wrong direction. You know, a totalitarian socialist dictatorship. What could go wrong? Everything has gone wrong, and conventional approaches to try to stop it have simply not worked. This is Trump being Trump, thinking out of the box, doing this in an entirely different way. A large military force is down there to enforce sanctions that were already in place, just simply not enforced. Now with this blockade, he's enforcing the sanctions, and guess what? We've got wildly different leverage now. We've got a Venezuelan government that wants to work with the United States, that wants to try to end the corruption and snuff out all the problems in their country. Or at least they're going to work constructively with us, because that's the only way they get oil revenue. This is using military force without firing bullets, without soldiers on the ground, but getting the full impact of that force. So I think we're going to see a very, very positive change in the trajectory of Venezuela, which is great for that country, but it's tremendous for the American people. It's going to push down energy prices as all this oil now is going to be able to come to market again. It's going to reduce the drugs, the criminality, the gun running, the kidnapping of American citizens, and all the indignities and all the disruption we've suffered in American society. I think it's going to come to an end.
Well, and Mr. Secretary, Americans will be welcome to hear of lower gas prices. Let's go into this meeting that you're going to be in. The president said that he's going to need to subsidize these oil companies to do this. The state-run company PDVSA that runs the oil in Venezuela says it's going to take more than $50 billion to get the infrastructure back up and running. It appears actually it could take more than $100 billion. So my question to you is, does the president intend to provide direct grants to these oil companies that are going to do this, or will it come in the form of lower government interest rates in loans?
Look, I think Griff, mostly this is going to be done with just business capital. Businesses are going down there because there's a different state of conditions on the ground. With this U.S. leverage, it's going to be a much easier place to do business in, and the oil resources are there. So businesses are going to go down with their own risk capital to make things happen. We might use the Export-Import Bank as credit support for large projects down there. That's a real possibility. But I have been deluged with companies interested to go to Venezuela, and so far no one's asked for money. What they want is the U.S. to use our leverage to make business conditions in Venezuela conducive for operations. So this is really going to be just President Trump changing the conditions so businesses want to go back in for business reasons. We're not twisting anyone's arms, telling anyone what to do. They want to go back. Thousands of Venezuelans in the United States and around the world work for these companies. They're thrilled at the prospect to be able to go back home to their country and help drive change there and help get the energy industry going again.
So, Mr. Secretary, you said this is President Trump doing business. I've got to ask you, does the president intend to take a stake in the Venezuelan oil company that the American companies stand up, much like he took a 10% stake in an intelligence company in the U.S.?
So no dialogue about that yet. But again, we want capitalism to work. But if there's support they need from the government, could something like that happen? That's certainly a possibility. But really, it's using U.S. power to force a regime that's caused so much misery in America and in Venezuela, using U.S. leverage to get them to change their behavior and ultimately drive to a representative government in Venezuela again, so it can be a wealthy, capitalist U.S. ally as it was for decades.
Mr. Secretary,
out of the box thinking of President Trump to get us here.
That it certainly is. We look forward to getting the details of the meeting, and we appreciate your time today. Please come back again and keep us updated. This is going to take years. This is a major undertaking. Secretary Wright, thank you for your time.
Thanks so much.
Meanwhile, Colombia's president says